welcome to a new video. I'm doing a slightly different one this time. I'm going to unbox and test out some new Winsor Newton watercolours. The past year I've been really getting into watercolours and mostly just using watercolours like in my sketchbooks and for final pieces and stuff. I thought it was probably time to get a better quality set because I was only really using a little round tin of about like 12 colours that were good quality, and like any other watercolour set I have is kind of bad. Well, not bad quality, but just like student grade quality. Anyway, so yeah, I asked for a Winsor Newton watercolour set for Christmas. So this was a gift. I hate that I have to say this, but obviously this is not sponsored. So when I opened mine up, I think mine arrived broken because the lower part was detached. It was moving around. I mean, this is fine really because I can just super glue it back in. But yeah, I don't know if that's supposed to be like that or not. It was really satisfying seeing all the wrapped watercolours all in line. When it came to unwrapping them all, it was quite an arduous process. It took a long time, which is why I have sped it up a lot for you. And there was so much plastic around me by the end of this. It was kind of therapeutic in a way, although at the very start I couldn't really get the pans out. It was only later on that I found out that there's like metal lips. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there's metal lips on either side of the pans that I think you're supposed to like pull out to help you get the pans out. Yeah, I did it the hard way apparently. It was super satisfying seeing all the colours unwrapped and in their places. The colours were really nice, really vibrant. I did forget to mention like the names of each colour, so I guess that's probably important, so I'll put them on the screen every time I swatch them. Little detail that I noticed was that on the side of each pan they've printed the name of the colour, so that's pretty useful. So if I ever like lose the packaging and I need to know what the colour is, I can just look at the side of the pan. Next, it was time to swatch the colours. You can't really actually tell on camera, but my sketchbook has a piece of mixed media paper glued in on the right. I did this because I wanted to see the difference between that paper and my sketchbook paper, because really it's not supposed to be a sketchbook. It's technically a notebook. I originally got it as a bullet journal, but I liked the cover too much. So at the start of 2025 I decided to use it as a low pressure sketchbook. I think I was just coming off a pretty bad sketchbook. That makes it sound like a disease or something. My previous sketchbook before that didn't end up being really good for me. That still sounds like it's an illness. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so I just used it as a low pressure sketchbook to get myself drawing and painting more without like worrying about perfection. Pens and watercolors really easily ghost on the back of the pages, which means it's easy to ruin a sketch by drawing on it on the other side, so that really takes away like the mentality of keeping everything clean and tidy. Sometimes I do want to keep things clean and tidy, but it's fine. I just stick stuff on top. Anyway, back to the paint. I was surprised to see that the colours really didn't change all that differently on the papers. I don't know why I expected that. Obviously the mixed media paper worked way better because the paint can absorb into it. It disperses more evenly, whereas on the normal paper, it also didn't help that it's a book where, you know, the spine doesn't lay flat, so the water really easily pools to the side. But I find that a lot on this sketchbook paper. Assume that when I'm saying sketchbook paper, I mean this notebook paper that I made into a sketchbook. But yeah, the mixed media paper obviously worked a lot better. I also have been using these paints on my sketchbook since filming this video, and I have noticed something strange happening when I put the paint down. It's kind of like when you paint over oil pastels or something like that, where the paint looks like it's repelling off the paper. I'm not sure why that's happening. That hasn't happened before. I don't know if it's the paints or just the paper, but as I said, I've used watercolors in the sketchbook and I've never seen that happen, so like, yeah, I'm not sure what that's about. And it's fine, like the colors do eventually absorb, but yeah, I probably shouldn't focus so much on what my sketchbook does, because I'm sure not many other people will use paper like this, unless you're like me and you're just trying to be low pressure and you just picked a random notebook. So yeah, the colours are really, really pigmented, they're really nice. And you don't need to use very much water to get paint on your brush. You don't have to spend lots of time activating it. I'm not entirely sure if I'm right about this, but I'm pretty sure that the reason that you want good quality paints is because the cheaper brands tend to both A, have not as much pigment, so the colours aren't as vibrant and you need to mix it with water a lot more, and B, you might get some granules or some sort of chalkiness to the paint, which makes it look weird when it's on the paper. So with better quality paints, you don't have to worry about that kind of thing happening. And yes, I also added swatches of the white on the paper, okay? I just wanted to be completionist about it because I was swatching all the colours and I didn't really want to leave out the white. But actually it was more of an off-white, so you can actually see it on the paper. It's more apparent on the mixed paper, on the mixed media paper. Here comes the fun part. I finally got to actually paint. So I firstly used a prompt from the Instagram account stillustrations.club, who are, if you know who Still Here Still Alive is, they're like that basically. They had a Christmas themed photo up at the time, so I decided to use that. I'll put a link to the post in the description if you want to paint it yourself or follow the account or paint along with me. So yeah, I started painting. As you can see, I usually go into watercolor sketches without really planning anything out, so I don't really pencil shapes in. Most of the time that kind of works out for me, like it goes fine, but I think that the problem is that that's usually when objects are kind of just floating in space. This time, this was a full scene, so I kind of messed up like the size, the proportions of the book, and yeah, it doesn't look great. It's not my best piece of work, but it's a sketch. It was just me breaking into the watercolors, so don't judge. It was really fun putting the blobs of color down though, as well as having more color choice. As I said, the only other good quality watercolors I've been using are a round travel tin that I bought in Greece when I went with my university. That only has about, so this one's great, especially since it has an actual purple, because the other one didn't have a purple and I always had to try and mix a purple and I was really bad at it. I can't mix a nice purple together for whatever reason. But yeah, and there's multiple tones of each colour as well, so that it just feels like luxury. I'm really appreciating having white now, since my other palette didn't, and the only way I could make a colour lighter when I was mixing colours was by adding more water, which isn't the best method. It is always frustrating though when you taint the perfect white with another colour though. Call me slow, but it was only later that I realised when painting that the middle part is the perfect place to put a brush. So my water brush that I was using fit really nicely in there. I'm pretty sure it was designed for that, but I just didn't realise at the time. So since I wasn't too happy with how the sketch came out, I came back the next day and decided to paint again, this time on the mixed media paper, to see the difference. I used my own reference of a flower vase. You can use this as well as a reference if you want. I'll put it on the screen if you want to, again, paint along with me. Again, this wasn't my best work. Lately, I just haven't been able to get flowers like these right. I think these are like cosmos or something like that. I think when they're like at a specific angle, I just can't get that down on the page, so it just looks a bit wonky and weird. But anyway, again, it was just a sketch, just to throw into my sketchbook. I have been super into dark backgrounds lately. First it was black backgrounds, but for this one I decided that maybe black was a bit too dark, so I went for a dark blue out of my lovely range that I now have. Yeah, I should probably mention that like each colour does have like maybe 3, 4, 5 tones, so I think there's like 4 types of blue, like ranging from light to dark. There's 2 yellows, but obviously it goes into an orange, and there's like 2 reddy pinky colours. There's quite a few browns and greens as well, which is great. I do mostly nature pieces, so greens and blues are the best to have multiple tones for, really. So while I'm doing this, I'll just quickly talk a little bit about my plans for this channel. That sounds really official, but it's not. So I haven't been really consistent posting the past year. I still have footage that I've really got to catch up on from 2024. I stopped video editing really because I had to stop my subscription to Premiere, which meant having to find a new free software and then learn how to use it, which wasn't really fun, to be honest. It takes a while to learn something like that, especially when they have different shortcut keys. It's DaVinci Resolve that I'm using now, and I've got a basic hang of it, so I've been trying to catch up with the bits and pieces of vlog and art making footage that I've got just floating around in my files. This year, though, I've decided to take YouTube a little bit more seriously. So I want to post a video at least once a month, and I want to make videos that might be helpful or insightful to others. Not that I feel like I'm a fountain of knowledge, but I don't know, maybe I can do something that's not just all about like me and what I get up to, like my studio and art vlogs that I've been doing. Filming the things that I got up to, like that kind of formula that worked well when I was in university, but now that I'm done with university and I'm back home, my life isn't quite as interesting to film. I do have several ideas so far, like this unboxing video. I want to make a video about how I made my own 2026 diary, how to get out of an art rut. I want to do stuff about how to travel journal, talking about AI slop. Alongside that, I'm going to challenge myself to fill a sketchbook with my own art slop. Prove that we don't need AI slop, we can do our own, thanks very much. Anyway, so yeah, stuff like that. I'm not sure if any of that will be of interest to anybody, but I think I'm gonna make them anyway because they sound fun. And I've started writing the scripts already, so you can't stop me. If you have any other ideas about what sorts of videos I could do, feel free to comment about it. Overall, I just want to have a bit more fun with arts and crafts and just making fun videos alongside it all. Not to get too deep, but I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with my life. But maybe making silly little videos is a start. You might still see some vlogs made out of old footage after this one, since I'm still catching up and I've still got a lot of footage. I actually made a list of the things that I still need to make into videos, and it's a long list. It's a very long list, but I'll make sure to only keep the interesting bits. So yeah, I hope you all stick around while I figure out what the heck it is I'm doing. So that was supposed to be the whole video, but while I was editing this video, I went out to a stately home. So I took these watercolours out on their first ever little day trip, so I thought I would film snippets of that too. So this is kind of like a mini little vlog as well. This video is just trying to be everything basically. The place was an art gallery, so we weren't allowed to take photos or film the actual art itself. But when we sat down to have a bite to eat, I took the chance to draw. I don't think I ever actually showed it, but there was a little vase of dried flowers on the table that we were sitting at, so I drew that. The star of the show was actually not the watercolours, but the new paintbrush that I got literally at the shop in the reception area to this place, because it's an art gallery. Like, they had a whole load of cool little arty things like pens and sketchbooks and art books and stuff like that, so I couldn't resist, especially when I saw that they had a brush pen. I love brush pens, but they don't seem to love me, because they always run out or split like really quickly. I don't know if it's me, if I'm abusing them, I don't know. Anyway, my most recent brush pen started dying on me, so when I saw this, I knew I had to get it. You can actually see at the top of the page, there's some test lines, because they had a few pens. They had like a sepia one and like a light grey one, and I was kind of tempted to get those, but they were quite expensive, so I decided just to get the one brush pen. I sketched out the flowers first with the brush pen, and then I added a really quick wash of colour with the watercolours. Again, it was really lovely having pre-mixed colours to choose from, and not having to like worry about using the mixing areas and like filling them with water, and then having to worry about how I was going to carry this in my bag afterwards, because I just had to use the water that was in my water brush, and that was it. The mixing wells are really nice as well. They're a nice size, so I can do more than just 4 colors, which is what I had to do with my teeny tiny triangular mixing areas in my travel palette. Also, I decorated it. I put an artist's sticker in each section, and I just love how it looks. It makes me even more excited to use it. The owl sticker is from the Elixon. The goose one is from Ella May's sketchbook, and the beetle, I'm not really sure whose it is because I got it from a collective table in the local markets that I go to. So yeah, I'm not sure whose it was exactly. The table was run by Re-Exists, but I don't think it was theirs. I'm not sure. So yeah, that was my little unboxing slash review. By no means official, or like I don't actually know what I'm talking about. I just thought this would be kind of cool to do. I hope you enjoyed. I hope like if you drew along with me that you had fun. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye!